In this video, we're going to be discussing why potentially older altcoins will be better than the new altcoins that we have now and the ones that are going to be coming out in the near future. Remember, this video is just about education, discussion, and to provide you a new perspective into your trading and into your crypto journey. So just hear me out for a couple minutes. If you agree with what I have to say, good. If not, then to each of their own, I guess. So today's discussion is going to be why older altcoins might be potentially better to have and to buy than some of the new ones. Now, just to get this out the way, I think you should have a pretty much balanced portfolio where you have some older altcoins and some newer ones. And the reason why I say this is because there's nothing wrong with diversification and playing the crypto market from multiple angles. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be saying is kind of controversial to many people, but I think if you look at it from a technical standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. So the reason why I think choosing older altcoins, or at least having a good amount of them, is better than the new ones or the ones that are in new narratives or potential high promise is because with the old altcoins, there's a lot of data to look at. You may get better entries and better exits. You may have a better understanding of the market and your altcoin. So for one example is Filecoin. So right now Filecoin is down massively, okay? I don't know much about the coin itself other than it has to do with something with storage, and that's pretty much it. And personally, I'm okay with that. All I know is that we've made bottoms here. We're here for a couple months. We are looking to break out of this area and start trading to the upside. I see we have here a massive support and resistance. I can see we have our order block / institutional candle. And when we go up higher, we have another institutional candle up here. So with the data presented and knowing how the markets work, if I even enter into Filecoin at this price, one of my first targets can be up here, pretty much a 10x, almost pretty much 9x profit. Now, if things go better than expected and where I expect price to truly peak at one point, Filecoin will hit a 25x in profit. This is based off of old data and institutional candles. When you understand institutional candles, the market, and how manipulation works, so without explaining it too much, pretty much what the institutions do, they have one order where they drive price up, and then they have a much bigger order where they dump the price, and pretty much they make a lot of their profits on the sell, for example in this case, and their buy they just have open this whole time. And eventually price goes up, it gets rallied up again right into this institutional candle, their buy gets a break even, and then they have another sell-off. And that's just how the market works. To prove my point, we can see the same thing with XRP, huge pump, then a dump, then a few years later we tap into this price perfectly into this institutional candle. And that's pretty much how institutions and market manipulation works. If you want to have a better understanding of how everything works with the market manipulation, institutional candles, and all that, you can click the link in the description. And I'd highly recommend getting the course so you can stay educated during this crypto run. Anyways, on to another example, Gala coin, right? Gala, we see we're pretty much very low, right? We're looking to break out. In the meantime, eventually we will break out. Then we're going to bounce off these areas, push up. And for me, I believe Gala will easily go up to 45 cents and dump back down. If it doesn't dump back down because the coin is really good, the gaming narrative's popping off or whatever, then we could start seeing expansions to the upside or potential equal tops first and then an expansion. But as my safety net and as a place I'm really looking at to cash out would be around the 45-cent mark, which would be around a 15x from this price. Absolutely amazing returns. See, with old altcoins, they provide so much data, and as long as you pretty much mark up the massive support and resistance areas and the institutional areas, you should know where there's high probability the market will go and the best areas to cash out. Now, I'm not telling you to buy Filecoin or a Gala. These are just a few examples. So what are the advantages of buying older altcoins? Well, first of all, we have data to go off of, right? We can see everything on our left, where the support resistance is, where the institutional candles are, and more or less what we expect for profit if the coin doesn't really succeed and doesn't see new all-time highs and breakouts. Since we have more data, since we know where everything is marked up nicely, we can be prepared. And in the crypto market, you really have to be prepared because just as fast as things can go up, they could slam back down. You guys got to remember, on top of this, old investors go back to their comfort zones with the coins they know. They might exit the market. They may have exited the market years ago, and when they come back, they're going to be looking at old projects to jump back right into. Now, the disadvantages. The main disadvantage is the coin will probably dump as fast as it pumps. If we look at Litecoin, we can see we're on the weekly. It was going up for weeks, very nicely. And within 2 weeks, most of this progress just got eaten up, which absolutely sucks because if you've been pretty much holding from the beginning of January, late December, beginning of January, all the way until the beginning of May, that's a few months where you're like, oh, up and down, but overall profits, you're so happy. And then look, slammage within 2 weeks. So you have to be paying attention and you have to be careful. Now, with certain coins, depending on the price and depending on where the institutional candles are, you may get less profits than some potential new projects. But that's not always the case, but that can be very likely for a majority of the coins. Now, the thing is, if you were fully committed to just older coins, another con would be that you would be missing out on new projects and potentially 20, 50, and 100 X's. Because it's very rare to land a jackpot on an older project. Not impossible if there's been innovation, good work around it, and a supportive community and narrative. Now, this will be mainly discussed in another video, but I just want to show you, right? So Render, it does have more data than this, but let's say this was genuinely the start, right? So you see, let's say we're breaking new all-time highs. You can tell, it's like, okay, where is it going to go next? Most people are not going to know because when they look at this stuff, they just look at their portfolio that, oh, we're up this amount. Oh, we're down this amount. They pretty much hope and pray that they just cash out at a good time and they don't let their emotions and ego get in the way of them not accepting potential profits they could have had and letting everything burn. If you're someone that's good with the charts or educated or looking to get educated or are in the middle of getting educated, then coins like this will still be fine for you because then you'll have the data and the charts in real time to determine, okay, is this a good time to sell my coin? Is this a good time to keep holding? Are we respecting certain structure? Is the context of the candles changing, right? Are we selling off quicker? Respecting structure quicker to the downside? So you really have to ask yourself, if you're someone uneducated and you're pretty much just putting money into the market blindly with actual little knowledge, maybe you've done some research on a project, congrats. But at the end of the day, that's not going to help you exit or understand the fundamentals of the market. You have to ask yourself, is it worth me getting into these projects? And will I be able to cash out at a good and proper time?